Hello, everyone. Hi, how are you? I'm so glad to be here again this year to give you my talk about mobile apps. First of all, we obviously had some technical difficulties. We might again have some. So please bear with me. For this year's conference, I decided to take on the gods of demo, head on, and try to give you and do everything that you shouldn't be doing on a conference. I'll be giving a presentation of Google Slides, which is live. I'll be doing a live demo building apps in front of you. And luckily for me, I think the gods of demo had their share of fun in the previous presentation. So I might be off, I might be good, but still. First problem that needs to be solved miraculously is how to connect to the Wi-Fi. Which of course wasn't a problem just a second ago, but we obviously keep the... Bear with me, please. So this is part of the live demo. I practiced it a couple of times, and we'll see what happens. Okay. Another shot. No. I am. So, but I have a backup. So. I know we laughed at this at the backstage, and I figured out this will never happen to me, but obviously it did. So let's do this. All right, so far so good. Let's see. It's working. Please, one round of applause for the technology, not for me. So, hello again. Today I'm going to talk about the death of the mobile apps. This is the thing that keeps me awake pretty often as a person who is totally invested into mobile. We're running two companies, two businesses completely in mobile, and if you Google mobile apps are dead, you'll find dozens, hundreds, thousands of articles stating their case against mobile or the future of mobile or the whole thing is doomed. But, of course, second problem, it's this is great. Okay, second problem solved. So far, so good. Today I'm going to talk about Shoutem and 5. So Shoutem and 5, we're a team of 150 people completely focused on mobile, doing services as a digital agency and doing a product. Today I'll be mostly talking about the product and how we're tackling with the mobile apps are dead or are soon to be dead or just smelling funny but still here thing. We have been on the market for the past 10 years now, dealing strictly with mobile since the first iPhone came out. And we've learned one thing. Mobile apps are hard. What's hard about them? The competition is crazy strong. There's gazillions of apps in the app stores. The users' expectations are pretty high up, and the requirements to build those apps is extremely hard on the budgets, on the time required to build those apps. And just winning on mobile today in the first competition is not as easy as I hoped it to be when we started this whole thing. Let me back up my case with just a couple of things that we see dealing with clients on a daily basis. One graph that is the killer of all, that says that basically 80% of your app users won't come back the next day. So after they install the app, 80% of them won't be coming back the next day. You can look at it the other way, so you can crunch the data different ways, but the thing is, no matter how you crunch it, 70% of users won't be coming after the first week for sure. So you've immediately lost 2/3 or even 3/4 of your user base after the first day. So what's the problem with the mobile apps? There's hundreds of them. People are stacking them into folders on their phone, and they're not using them as much as we hoped the people would be using them. I mean, everyone's on their phones constantly, but they're not using the apps that we are building. So what's happening? Who's stepping up? People are talking about voice interfaces, where you're just moving away from being one icon on the phone to being an interface you talk to. People are talking about chatbots, which is similar to voice interface, but you just use a text and interact with a smart artificial intelligence or dumb artificial intelligence, depending how advanced the bot is. And the third one is web apps, progressive web apps. So web is fighting back against and trying to take the turf from the mobile. But things aren't as bad as they seem. So mobile app usage grows 11% year over year, which is good. I mean, it's growing, so people are using apps more and more, which is great for us who are in mobile app development. But, I mean, it used to be 50% year over year. Now it's only 10, 11%. And that's in sessions. So meaning people open up more apps, 11% more sessions in the apps. But there's one number that is really important to me. Mobile app time spent. Did you know that on the US users, every US user spends 5 hours a day on mobile. 5 hours a day playing around with their mobile apps. The problem with that is, another side effect of that is they actually spend nearly half of that time in just their one app. Whatever that app is, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, whatever that number one app, they spend 50% of that time in just one app. The game of the day, whatever they're doing, just one app. They're spending maybe 75% of their time in just the 3 apps. So unless you're one of those 3 apps, you're fighting a really hard battle. I've looked at the browser versus apps. So I figured, okay, if apps are declining, maybe the browser, the websites are gaining traction. Maybe they're starting to build up and starting to take the market share from the mobile. But it's not true. People spend 92% on mobile in the mobile apps, not on the browser. Of course, Facebook is leading the share with 19%, and the rest follow on. But the problem is, if you're building an app for your business and you're spending huge amounts of money to build it, it's going to be super hard to win on mobile and get some traction, get some engagements. One thing, when we started Shoutem, I mean, I know most of you guys here, you've been following us in Shoutem for the past 8 years now. When we started Shoutem, we were betting on the long tail of mobile. You know the long tail graph. Number of users, the budgets, and we hoped that the long tail would apply on mobile. But the thing that we've learned is that this tail part might not actually exist on mobile. Actually, this is what I think is a long tail of mobile. So there are huge numbers of people, of businesses, of customers who don't need mobile apps. People need websites. So if you look below and see construction, small businesses, coffee shops, photographers, even like retailers of some sort, they all need a website. So they need a website. They already built a website, and we bet at the time that they would need a mobile app as well. But in fact, that isn't the truth. The mobile apps turned out to be super expensive to build, super hard to maintain. You have those 2 platforms, iOS and Android. You used to have 3. It just adds cost, and if you time that with the engagement that is dropping down on a daily basis for the users and the competition from all of those major apps, that's why I said the mobile apps, what we figured out, are super hard. And the other thing that I'm super impressed with on the web, WordPress is powering 28% of the whole web. So the whole web, 28% of it is run on WordPress. And that's a crazy thing for me. They started as a simple platform that wanted to help out the long tail, help out build the simple websites, and it turns out they're running 28% of the whole World Wide Web. The thing, to come back to the mobile apps, what we see is that typical time to market for mobile app is on average 5 months. Yes, you can build an app within a month, you can build an app within a year, but what we've seen on I think 70 or 80 projects that we did, a typical time to market for a mobile app, from the first moment you start to the moment you publish it, is around 5 months. And there have been numerous takes on how much does that actually cost. Of course, if you build it out, the more you go to the east, it gets cheaper. This is a statistic from Clutch, one mobile app directory that's I know this is so crazy, saying that how much costs a house, how much does a mobile app cost. But the thing is that clients are spending budgets of 50, 100K, 200K on mobile apps, and they're not getting their returns back. Why do I think that is? We're always reinventing the wheel on mobile. So we're always trying to reinvent the same old thing and just rebuilding the whole thing for every new client from the beginning to the end. For me, as someone who is leading a mobile development organization, it's super hard to motivate people to do once again to spend a week on doing Facebook integrations, to do Facebook login, to spend a week to do the onboarding. Yeah, you've done it like 5 zillion times before, and then you have to do it again. Yes, the developers take pride in just creating it better every time and just encapsulating it a bit and just pulling out some components to be reused later on. But eventually, what we saw that 80% of our time that we were building mobile apps was used to build stuff that were already built. And basically, just the 20% is being used to build the innovative part of mobile apps, something that is actually going to make it, or your business will make it or break it. So 80% of the budgets are being spent on just the stuff that have already been built. And it's the same problem that actually WordPress solves successfully on the websites. They've given you the complete infrastructure, and you're just building your fun part, your sweet spot up there, and just using your development time to do that. And what we want to do with, what we want to do is we want to stop people from building apps from scratch. If you were to build a website, you would never start a website from scratch. You would probably use one of the CMSs or start somewhere. But then again, what we see on mobile, people are starting to build apps from scratch on a daily basis. I personally believe that building mobile apps from scratch is just plain stupid. It wastes your time, it wastes your client's money, and it doesn't give the results that you might need at the end. After you spend like $200,000 and don't get the results that you need, you would have been much better off if you spent maybe 20% of that just on the app that you wanted to build and try to see what the results are. What we've experimented a lot in the past are cross-platform frameworks. We've done hybrid apps, we've done HTML, JavaScript things, we've played around with PhoneGap, Ionic, Angular, we've done the whole share, we've done with Xamarin, but what we've seen are the performance issues of all of those frameworks. So it's either you go native or you go home. So in that competitive market, you can compete with anything than just being completely native and just have a perfect user interface and just the smoothness of the app. Everything else is doomed to fail from day one, whatever you do. But there's one contender that we've made a huge bet on. This is from Google Trends, showing how React Native is trending versus iOS and Android in the past years. And this is the bet that we've made. So yes, we are doing native iOS apps, we are doing native Android apps, but we are betting heavily on React Native, which might be one part of the solution to this mobile app death problem. So Shoutem is a platform for creating mobile apps. That's the whole thing. We want to be on mobile what WordPress did on web. We launched the product a month and a half ago. It was I think an 18-month product development cycle that took a lot of obviously effort, and it was like a real moment of celebration after those 18 months when we finally launched a new platform. But the real moment of celebration was when we started seeing first apps being built on top of that platform, exactly how we envisioned them to be built. The idea was to be able to do everything using a beautiful templates. And if you're a standard user who doesn't need any customizations, any development, you might be as well have just used the CMS, build the app, publish it right off the content management system, and be done with it. But what we wanted to do with Shoutem, we wanted to be able that you can extend it, that you can add whatever functionality you want to it. We've done some beautiful templates, and there are 3 things that are actually new in Shoutem on V5. First one, it's built on React Native. That's the bet that we've made. Rebuild it completely. Second one is we did an extensible platform. And the third one is we created developer-friendly tools that I'll hopefully show to you today. React Native, as you might know, is based on JavaScript, but the thing is it renders the complete native UI. What we're targeting here, what we've seen is that the classic iOS and Android developers, they're not too keen to jump on React Native. They love their frameworks, they love their native way of doing stuff, but the web developers, they'll jump on React Native and build mobile apps in an instant. It's a technology that is exactly suited for them, reusing their knowledge from React.js to build mobile apps. Second of all, extensible. Think WordPress plugins. You can create a plugin for anything, extend the app, extend the platform, and just be done in an instant. We've built somewhat over 40 plugins that you could try out immediately. And everything that you see on the platform is customizable. So from the onboarding to authentication to push notifications to user profiles to the about screen, everything is an extension, and everything can be customized. And third of all, this is a developer conference, and we did a developer-friendly tool. So you can go on today and try it out on new.shoutem.com and see how it works. What we've done, we've open sourced the UI framework as well, so you could use our UI framework on any React Native app, or you could be building it on Shoutem. The documentation is up there, and our mission is basically to become what WordPress did on websites. We become the platform that helps people build mobile apps in a fraction of time and within a fraction of cost. Sounds pretty huge. So how does the development process look like on Shoutem? First of all, you create a new React Native app through our builder. I'll do exactly that. Second of all, you reuse some of the existing extensions. We have over 40 of them, and we expect the ecosystem to grow as the complete platform is open sourced. You can customize any of these components that you like, or that basically saving you your time and effort just to do the customizations you need, and basically develop anything from scratch and plug in into that platform. That's the basic idea. I haven't done a live demo in, I think, 8 years. And I'm really looking forward to this. It might fail on every step of the way, but I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying your looks right now and just wanting me to fail, or I don't know, just hoping that something will go wrong and that I'll have to think my way out of it. So let me show you the demo of the new Shoutem platform. So basically, okay, internet is still working. That's great. Let me create a first app. So there are a bunch of templates that I could use. I don't want to bother you with those fancy, flashy stuff out of this CMS. I'll just use the events app and create the app in behind. So what's actually happening right now, up there in the cloud, everything is being bundled, and the app is being created. Let me call it my Shift app. I think I didn't use that name before, so this might actually work. What's happening right here on the right part of the screen, we're using a cloud preview of the app and building the app in the cloud. While it's doing that, I'll be showing you the command line tools as well. So what I can do here, I can pull the app code. So what I'm doing here, I'm pulling the whole app code for the whole app down to my computer so I could edit it and customize it. My Shift app, this will take, of course I used that name before. This is great. Shift app 2. Let's try it again. All right. So while it's pulling the code, let me walk you through this interface. So I could add any of these extensions to the app. So there are a bunch of them that have been already built, that are pre-built into the platform from the various themes, push notifications, products, places, whatever, Shopify integrations, whatever you might need. Or you can actually, have your own extensions that I've built in the past. I haven't been, too keen on building my extensions. I've only built like 3 of them so far, but they're here that I could reuse in any of my apps later on. While I was talking, the app has been built. So this is a live preview in the cloud of the app. Basically, it's been pre-populated with the content, and there are a couple of interesting things that I could show you here. But again, this is just a template app that I've built that is basically suited to build like an event app, like for the Shift conference or for anything else. What I could do here, here's how the CMS works. I could change the navigation to a drawer. You see here, I'm using the tab bar. I'll change it to a hamburger menu, refresh the whole thing, and demo permitting, I'll show you the new version of the app right here with the hamburger menu. So this is how it works for an average user. You can customize it, you can edit it. But let me do something more complex. Let me show you, this is an event app. There's the one thing that I've been missing in this event template, and that is like a huge, or actually a small red banner with a countdown to the conference. Sounds pretty simple. So the thing I want to do, I want to add a top bar here at this screen, showing you how much time there's left until the conference. So how am I going to do that? Cool. Let me go there and let me open up the code. So here's the complete code for the app. Don't get frightened. It's well documented, and I've learned my way around it. So what I want to do is change one of the components that I'm building on the website here, that I've been through the CMS, is the events one. So this is the description of the events app, and what it says here, it shows you the types of layouts that this component supports. So this is the thing right here. So I could do a grid-like view of the program, and I could do a list-like view. If I do a list-like, if I refresh the app, you'll see a completely different layout of the app. So you see like a different layout that the app has been using. What I want to do, I want to create my own layout, something completely new. So what I'll do, I'll delete this and just say that this new one that I'm building, this one that I'm building will extend this one, and I'll just change it the name to say it's like grid with timer, right? The next thing that I want to do, I want to change the code. I want to add some code in there. First of all, I don't want to bother you with some details, but I'll just reuse the data that I've been using in this component, so just bear with me while I do this live. And there are a couple of screens here. So grid screen, list screen, showing different types of layouts. What you can see here, my first reaction was to go to the grid screen, but it follows the object model. It extends the list screen. There's not too much code here, so I'll go to the list screen to modify my view. One more trick before I move on with some actual development is just to reuse the data so my new component uses the same data that the original one does. So basically what I want to do is want to find where this render function happens, so where it's actually showing the code, and I want to add my code over there. So actually I'm looking for this featured events, and I'll add my code here. So I'm doing this live, so I'll vertical. Okay. I added a view, and let me add just one. Okay, sorry, I know my developers love when I do this. Okay. So text, just add some style, and okay. So let's add something that is colored red, bold, I don't know, 25, and sorry, let's say 40. I don't know, hopefully this works. And just add some text. So I don't want to bother you with creating an actual timer, but I want to show how this code would work. So this is like a placeholder, and I say just 1 day, 7 hours, 14 minutes, and 32 seconds till the conference. Of course, in an actual world, I would have to create a code that updates the timer in live, but you get the picture. So the next step, I'm done. I have to package this thing, and I do that using the Shoutem push. So what is actually happening right now, the extension that I've just created is being packaged and pushed up to the server. Okay, let me see. Great. And now I have a new component that I've just built that I can reuse in any of my apps. that shows a timer instead, just no timer. Let me install this new extension into the app. And I'll install it into this My Shift app number 2. Perfect, that worked. Let me open up in the browser, see how that looks like. I'll close the old one. Say preview here. And it's now building the app. But what you should see here in the program, if I did it correctly, in the layout, there's a new grid. There's this new component that I've just added that I could use here. Another way of trying this out, of course, I'm doing this all through the browser. In a real-life environment, you would do it all locally. You would try the app locally. But there's one other way how you can test the app, and it's using a mobile. It's using your mobile device. Let me start QuickTime Player to show you how that will work. Okay, so it's here. Okay, not me, but my iPhone. Cool. So while this is being built, I can show you, this is the whole thing. We're actually building the app that usually takes like 2 or 3 times on the build server in the back end. So it's like the miracle of build happening right now. And while we're waiting for that to be completed, I can show you a couple of things more in the CMS. Basically, the themes, something we're also very proud of. You can create your own theme, or you can change the theme of the app. So there are a couple of themes that we've already built in the product. For example, this is the one that I've been using so far. But I could change it with a click of a mouse to a different theme and just restyle and reskin my whole app. And basically, what we've seen our clients do, they create their signature theme and just apply it across all of their apps that they're building. Okay, so the app is done. And let me change the layout to grid with timer. Let's see how that works. If I did everything correctly, the timer should be up there. Yes! Woo! The easier way to do it is to preview it on device. Let me open up. Okay, so I'm using my device here. What I have to do, I have to scan this QR code. Okay, it's here. And what I should actually see here is the same app, but just on my phone, which is much more responsive, as you can see here, than in this cloud preview. And that's how you customize the Shoutem app. Thank you.